The Bengals have a big matchup against Philly Sunday. So we're going to talk about how these teams stack up, what the Bengals can do to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. And we got Parker Blake stopping by for a little bit of trench talk. That is all coming up next on this game preview week 8 edition of Cincy Unfiltered. Now I just got to get down here and click the button for the video.
Your boys are ready to go. You already know. Grab a garage beer, let's flow. No filter needed, beers getting deleted. It's the Cincy Unfiltered show. Let's go. Our boys are ready to go. Our boys are ready to go. You already know. Grab a garage beer, let's flow. No filter needed, beers getting deleted. It's the Cincy Unfiltered show. Let's go. Our boys are ready to go.
How the hell can we get a win on Sunday? That's what we need to talk about tonight. This is live for the members of our YouTube channel. If you're not a member, you can become a member or don't. It's all good. It all really depends. But we would like to have everybody in here as much as possible on the live chat for the game preview shows. But if you're not, that's okay. I totally understand it. If you think that we're not worth your money, I get it because we're not. But just an option to give you guys. So if you're not a member, it will be live on our YouTube channel tomorrow at 10 a.m. So we've got Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, maybe Dallas Goedert, maybe not Dallas Goedert. I don't know. Coming in to Paycor Stadium Sunday. It is the white Bengal edition. As you can see, I've got the white graphics for the occasion, the white logo down in the corner, trying to match the vibes, trying to match the Bengals vibes, not beat the shit out of my microphone, but hey, it is what it is. Got a screenshot of the chat. I don't know what that means. Oh, okay. It's from apparently I've messed up and it's live for everybody. So free one. Sorry about it. I owe the members something for that because it's supposed to be an exclusive members only thing. I must have messed up the settings. So apparently I fucked up. So hey, it is what it is. If I change the setting, I don't know if it'll kick the non-members out, and I don't want to do that. So we're just going to roll with it. So free game preview show for everybody. We can do that. So you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and put it on Twitter too. It happens. More the merrier. I'll just put it on Twitter too. So I am going to quote tweet it because why not? I mean, I apologize to the members. I've been selling it to you as a perk, and I've messed up the settings, and now just everybody's here, and I'm not trying to make it look like I'm that guy trying to steal your money. I apologize. The OGs know. The OGs know that's not me. So yeah, I'll just put it on, and we'll just do it live. Apparently, it's not live on Twitter, so this is what I get for. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. No clue. It looks like it's going to be YouTube only. But it is every time my phone goes off and I get a text, I just fucking completely lose focus and I'm completely distracted. So now I just tried to put it on Twitter, but it's not working on Twitter. This is a fucking disaster. So I'm just going to delete the tweet. Oh, nope, it's live now. It's live now on Twitter. Okay, well, it's working now. So that's what we got. I know it's close to halftime of Thursday Night Football. Sorry that this is interrupting Thursday Night Football, but schedule is what the schedule is. So we got people in the chat. Nick says they accept garage beer for my transgressions. If you're going to be at the game Sunday, I'm going to have a ton of it. I'm going to be passing it out. And now that we've realized that I've made a giant mistake and messed up and appear to have lied to all of our loyal members, it's time to crack a garage beer because I need it. I do apologize to the members. I don't know what I'll do, but I'll make it up to you. If it is giving you a beer, I'll give you a beer. If it's you guys just, saying I'm a dumbass and you understand, that would be fine too. Wife says members only should get a Q&A with me and Ron's wife to air all your secrets. I pretty much put all my transgressions, fuck ups, and embarrassing things about myself on the internet already. So I don't really have anything to hide. Ryan had a parent versus kids soccer game tonight. Should have seen me owning the 7-year-olds. Hey, if they step between the white lines, they get the wrath of whatever comes with that. That's on them. Fan van giveaway for the OGs. I can't give away the van. Do you guys know this? Do you guys know the story of the van? We can turn this into a story time before we start talking football, I guess. The van. It was my grandmother's. It was white. She never ever drove it. She was this little old lady. She would drive it to the grocery store and back, whatever. And then my dad used to borrow it when we would go to games when we were younger. It had more room in the back. It had more room for people to ride down with us. So when my grandma got cancer at 80, she saw the writing on the wall. She knew her time was short. So she gave it to my dad. And she said, turn it into a Bengals van. So he went and he had it painted orange, got the vinyl stripes, the logos, all that stuff on it. And that was the vehicle to games. And then my parents, my dad and my stepmom, got a little bit older, started having their own health problems. So they stopped going to games and they just had the van. And then one day it broke down in front of my dad's house. He said, it's got an electrical problem. I'm done with it. If you can fix it, you can have it. And I went and bought a $100 battery, popped it in the van, fired it up and drove it home. So that is the story of how I got possession of the van. I've spent some money on it. I redid the wheels, blacked out the grill, stuff like that, but it was free. I got the van for free. The van did start, Nick. I had to jump start it last night, drive it around for about a half hour, 45 minutes, let the alternator charge up, make sure it's right. So I went out again today just to make sure it fired up, and she started up like a champ. We're ready for Sunday, although I don't have a little sticker for my license plate. I know I paid for it. Online it says it's valid, but I don't know where the sticker is. So I don't know if I'll get pulled over for that or not because I paid the money. So we'll see. The white outfit isn't lost on me. Well played. Yeah. I'm trying to fit the vibe of the white Bengal game. Kid-free date night was spent in the van. I mean, if you want to call it that, we just drove, but yeah. You don't charge an alternator that charges the battery. See, I don't fucking know, dude. I'm not a car guy. I just know I put the jumper cables on my truck, put the jumper cables on the van, started it. I just knew I had to drive it for a while. I actually didn't drive it long enough the first time. I had to re-jump it. But it be like that. Ben said that happened when he got pulled over, but they ran the plates and let him go. Didn't even ask for his license. Okay, hopefully. Can you imagine Drew driving up to a game with some of this crew rolls out on the van? We can make that happen. We can figure that out. I got a text from Parker. There's something special for the Parker Blake intro that I got coming up, and it seems like he might like it. Road Dome and the Fan Van Elite, that did not happen. I can promise you that. All right, I got to talk about football. You got the story of the van. You got me fucking up. It's accidentally live for everybody, so let's just have a little bit of fun. Let's talk football. So we got the Eagles coming to town on Sunday. As we always do, we can take a look at some of the comparisons. We can look at how these two quarterbacks stack up. Jalen Hurts, actually in that picture, looks like he might be ready to snack up. Looks a little hungry. Joe Burrow, 1,759 yards, 14 touchdowns, only 2 picks, completing passes at a 70.4% clip. Jalen Hurts having a little bit of a struggle this year. 1,308 yards, 7 touchdowns, 4 picks, competing passes at a 67.8% clip. So the Bengals have the advantage on the quarterback situation. Jalen Hurts isn't having the year you'd expect. These are two 2020 quarterbacks that came out in the same draft class. Pretty much had instant success. Both of them. Burrow got hurt, obviously, his rookie year, but Jalen Hurts has been one of the guys. So he's having a little bit of a rough year, but really it's going to work out for the Giants. For the Giants, Jesus Christ. It's not my night, folks. Not my night. It's the Eagles. For the Eagles, because they run the piss out of the ball. The offensive comparison. The Bengals put up 331.7 yards per game. The Eagles 362.2. Bengals throw for 237.4 yards per game, while the Eagles throw for only 194.5. But here is the disparity. The Bengals run for 94.3 yards per game, and the Eagles run for a whopping 166.7 yards per game. And the Bengals have a questionable run defense, although it has been good the last 2 weeks against some bad offenses, but this is going to be their first real taste of a good running offense. And then Bengals score 25.4 points per game, and the Eagles score 22.3. So that is the offensive comparison. And you look at the defenses. You got Lou Anarumo against Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio's an OG. He's good. Okay. The Bengals give up 353.1 yards per game. The Eagles give up 304.2 188.3 yards per game, while the Bengals give up 217 through the air. The Eagles only give up 189.2 through the air. Bengals give up 136.1 rushing yards per game. That's not good. Going against Saquon Barkley after what he just did to the Giants. The Eagles give up 115.2 rushing yards per game. So maybe the Bengals can try to establish the run, which sometimes it seems like they fucking refuse to do. Bengals give up 23.7 points per game, while Philly gives up only 19.2. So it looks like Philly has the advantage in the ground game. They have the advantage on the defense, and they say the run game and the defense is what travels. So they're going to come into what should be a hostile environment on Sunday with everybody going apeshit, because if you heard Zach Taylor need you to, I plan to do my part. I'm going to show up early. I'm going to get maybe a little boozed up. I'm going to drink some ice cold garage beers. And if you notice, the original garage beer matches the white and black theme. So they're looking out for you. Do you want your beer to match your outfit at the whiteout on Sunday? Pick up some garage beer or find me. I'll hand you one. 21 and up only. No fucking ideas, kids. So that is kind of how these two teams are going to stack up. We've got lots to worry about when this Philly offense comes out there. Did you guys see what Saquon Barkley did to the Giants last week? At his return to MetLife, just destroyed him. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I know that he ran for a whole lot of fucking yards, though. That is what I know. So he ran for a whole lot of yards. We got comments popping off. I apologize to the members. This is supposed to be a members only thing. I had it set correctly. I must have changed something and forgot it. Tony says Bengals defense has to bring it like they have been. They absolutely do. This is going to be the biggest test that they have. Parker might cry. Vikings just lost their left tackle. I don't have it on, so I don't know exactly what happened. I don't have the game on. I've kind of failed on that. Aaron Heckman says cover AJ Brown, please. I would prefer that we did that also. That's who scares me the most. Devontae Smith's good, but AJ Brown is a game wrecker. He's a guy that takes over football games, and he worries me just a little bit. Quality garage beer outfit planning. You know, Tony, some people say they look for me for two things. They look for me for calm, rational sports takes and fashion advice. So I'm here to try to provide both of those to you guys tonight. So shout out to you, Tony. I appreciate that. K Breeze says no apologies needed. I appreciate you guys. Obviously, I fucked up. So I think my biggest concern going into this game is going to be covering AJ Brown, like we just talked about, stopping Saquon Barkley. And is this the game where the Bengals defense can put together a quality game while the offense does the same? Can we get something out of my boy 20 DJ Turner, Michigan man? It's going to be quite the matchup, I think, for this defense, because they've had two get right games, right? The Giants stink. Daniel Jones, terrible. The Browns offense stinks. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They had 400 penalties. It was gross. So like the Bengals, I'm not saying that there's not an advantage to having two get right games to get the confidence of a McKinley Jackson, who's a rookie, a Chris Jenkins, who's a rookie, a DJ Turner, who's, his first full year as a starter because he split time with Cheeto last year. And he wasn't even starting this year until Dax Hill went down. So there's nothing wrong with having a couple of get right games against bad teams to maybe get your confidence up. But this is going to be a real test. Ben says shotgun a beer as punishment. Not sure that's much of a punishment now that I think of it. It's not really a punishment. I did order one of those special tools to make the shotgun better, so I have it on Sunday. Amazon's going to drop that off tomorrow. New fanny pack got here today. Unfortunately, the fanny pack was broken at the Baltimore game, as were my spirits on the way home, so we got that coming. So, it's not really a punishment for me to drink a delicious beer. Yeah, Wedge, it's a Kraken. It is a Kraken. I already had one. I took it to my buddy's house for something one time, and I don't know what the fuck happened. I must have left it there, and it was never seen again. So, I'll have the Kraken on there. This will be Drift King, your first Bengals game Sunday. Dude, I hope I get to meet you. Do you know what time you're going? Do you know where you plan on tailgating? Do you know if you need friends to give you beer if you're 21 years old? Get a hold of me, man. Let's figure it out. Let's try to meet each other. Ben lost his Kraken. Ben, are you still coming? because you can use mine. I'm not upset about it. Hell yeah. Drift King is going to be there. Ben, oh, you're not 21. I can't do it, buddy. I'm not going to jail. I'm not going to jail. Not going back, but you'll try. You can try to find me, but I can't supply alcohol to minors. I can't do it. I apologize. Ben says he's elite with the key. You know, I've been struggling with the key. Cut my thumb, first victory shotgun. Last one left a little bit of shrapnel on the outside of the can there. Almost cut my lip. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just own it, and I'm just gonna get the tool. God created the Kraken for a reason, and I plan on using it. Tony's gonna be at baseball home. Tony's at baseball all the time. You gotta love a dedicated baseball guy. Dedicated baseball pops. He said I could misplace a beer at the tailgate. You know, Breezy, for legal reasons, I'm not gonna do that. For legal reasons, I can't contribute to the delinquency of a minor. Injury report wise today, when you saw the Bengals injury report, I didn't make a graphic for it. But Geno Stone was back at practice on a limited basis after not practicing at all yesterday. Obviously, we thought that was terrible, terrible, terrible news on Sunday when he laid there. They brought the card out, they put the air cast on it, and then we got a little bit of optimism seeing that he was walking around on his own power after the game, and now he's back on the practice field. Zach Taylor said earlier in the week regarding him and Orlando Brown Jr. that they could play even if they don't practice this week. Orlando Brown Jr. has been coming out in uniform, going through stretches, but didn't participate in teamwork, at least when the media was there. But Zach Taylor did say that those are two veteran guys, and if they feel good enough to play on Sunday, even if they haven't practiced all week, he would be comfortable playing them. So they have a shot. I don't know if I expect to see either one of them, but it seems like they do have a shot, and they're at least out there on the field getting work. Trey Hendrickson was back today after getting a rest day yesterday. So that is going to be – there he is. Don't worry about it, Parker. I hear you. So, yeah, that's going to be kind of interesting to see how all of that plays out on the injury front. Now, maybe one of the biggest matchups of the game outside of the A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith thing is going to come from the Bengals offensive line, who may be starting TikTok star Cody Ford at left tackle. And I can't think of anybody better to talk to about how this offensive line could look against a vaunted front. They got Georgia boys everywhere on that Eagles defense. So we're going to talk to our good friend of the program, the authority on the trenches. We're going to talk to Parker Blake.
Every snap, every play, analyze the grind. Parker Blake, trench talk, football redesign. Bengals up front, let the experts remind. Hold the line, keep it tight, victory aligned.
Best picture ever.
Hey, you're the first guy I think that has ever given me a theme song, and I'm going to carry that through the rest of my life, I think.
I can send you the full version. I had to clip it, you know.
The full version?
I can
That's
send you
just
the
a
full
clip
version.
of it. Oh, shit. We might be cooking with something here.
That's AI, baby. That I plugged it into. I plugged in a description to AI, and it spit that out. And I was
That's
like,
not you? That's not you rapping right there?
No, I got no bars. I'm retired. I used to think I was a rapper, though. That's a true story. For another day. But yeah, John's here. Everybody loves your hair, Parker. The guy looks
I
like
appreciate it.
You look like you know the trenches. You look like you know the big uglies. I'm not calling you ugly, but I'm saying that's what they call the offensive lineman. You look like you know it. K Breezy says it's dope that you have an intro song. Yeah, that was an AI generator made possible by Ben Schramm. So Parker, I do want to let you know that this was supposed to be for only the members of our YouTube channel, and somewhere along the line I fucked up and I made it public for everybody. So it's on Twitter, it's live on YouTube now, so no pressure. A little bit bigger audience than I think maybe we thought that there was going to be. Ben says Parker is an amazing Twitter follow. I would agree. His Twitter is at Parker Blake 60. The guy knows the trenches. So I asked you to come onto the program today because Philly's got some good D linemen, and the Bengals are a little banged up. Maybe Cody Ford, maybe Orlando Brown Jr. if he's feeling good on Sunday. So early initial thoughts, how are you feeling about the Bengals offensive line matching up with Philly's defensive line?
Okay, first things first, I have to be transparent, and I was given instructions on what to prepare for the show. And through all my relentless research, I've let my esteemed host here down, and I've not been able to find too many details on Cody Ford's love life. However,
Damn it. Do you know the trenches or not, dude?
I know. I'm a fraud. I just want to make sure everyone knows that. Everyone that's not, not the exclusive group that this was supposed to be. Everybody out there, I'm a fraud. I'm not familiar with. I do. Funny story. Not Cody Ford, but Cody Ford related. TT is I don't necessarily know what they consider themselves, but she's in communication with the star linebacker of my shadow team, Ivan Pace Jr. So
I thought that was over with.
Little transition. I say I don't know.
Are you researching the right things here? Or are you just looking at how these guys?
I was looking at Cody Ford, and then I was watching the Philadelphia Eagles film. All right, I just wanted to throw it out there. I just thought it was funny that it went from my team to my guy. All right, I find that amusing. All right.
Can you give me like a 2-minute explanation on what the hell shadow team is? Because I have no idea.
Yeah, keep it short. Essentially, you follow along with the NFL draft, and you draft your own team based on the research you do, based on whoever's available at the pick you have. So, like, this year, if you would have had the second pick in the shadow draft, you wouldn't have been able to take Caleb Williams, but you could have taken anybody else. And so you kind of draft along, and your goal is to build a 53-man roster. And so this is my second year doing it. I've gone through 2 full drafts now. I get to pick 2 guys per round for the first 4 years. So that's going swimmingly. I currently have 44 players on my team because it's 14 players, 2 guys per 7 rounds, and then I get 8 free agents a year. So,
and does this score like fantasy on a weekly basis?
Yeah. So it's actually based off of PFF has like an all 22 fantasy platform that they run. But that's not as fun because it's a fantasy style. So it's like you can only pick everyone in the league can only have one guy. Whereas this is more like open. So everybody can pick whoever they want to pick and build their own team. So it's more like flexible. So there's the guys that have the same guy. Like it's kind of funny. You can see the generations of quarterbacks. There's like a bunch of teams with Lamar Jackson. There's a bunch of teams with like the best quarterback like every year when there's like a good quarterback class. It's kind of funny to look at. Currently, my quarterback room is Sam Hartman and Michael Pratt. So
that's it?
Yeah.
You starting Sam Hartman every week?
No, because he's not playing at all. So I'm getting 0 points for my quarterback room for a second year.
GMs get fired for that, dude. GMs get fired when they don't have a quarterback.
I know, and my seat is quite toasty.
I would have to assume I don't know anything. I retired from fantasy. I was in 6 fantasy leagues last year. It was exhausting. It was overwhelming. I stepped out of it to fully focus on gambling and not doing well there either. So
it's a worthwhile reinvestment of your time.
Yeah, I'd rather just lose that $20 that day rather than waiting 3-4 months to figure out.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Well, then you get to put it back in and then lose it again the following week.
Yeah, I saw the Kurt Warner commercial where he's like, "Don't chase your losses." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up, Kurt. I'm down $200 today. I got to get it back."
Hey, Kurt chased his losses and it worked out well for him. Anyway, my thoughts on the game.
Yeah, football. That's what we're talking about.
No, I think the Eagles game, the matchup's kind of interesting. It's funny enough, both teams kind of have a question mark at left tackle. The Bengals not necessarily knowing who's going to be playing that position. I think we're going forward assuming it's Cody Ford until we hear it's Orlando Brown. However, by we, I mean me and only me. I have no idea what anyone else is thinking, but I'm assuming it's Cody Ford until I hear otherwise. But for the Eagles, we know it's Fred Johnson. And we know.
Remember him? Former Bengal?
Yes.
Sounds like a created player in a Madden draft class.
I was listening to a podcast today, and they were talking about how his pass blocking grade on PFF right now is like in the 30s. And they're like, "Oh, don't worry, surely that'll go up against Trey Hendrickson." So big week for Trey Hendrickson coming up.
Love to hear it.
Hopefully.
Every week's a big week for Trey Hendrickson.
Nah, that's fair. He's been eating these backup tackles alive, and it's another one this week. So looking forward to watching that. Absolutely.
And you have a grading system that you have created your own, right? I know
I
like
do.
there's PFF and stuff like that. So did you grade the Bengals offensive line last week? Like, did you grade a guy like Cody Ford?
Yeah. So I've been slacking. So I've graded every week but week 5 because if anyone recalls, there was a number of offensive line changes in week 5.
Yeah.
If you want to look back that far. So I just my mental has not gotten to the point where I feel like I can go through my grade that game and maintain my sanity. But we'll get to week 5 eventually. But I have every other week done.
So how did Cody Ford grade out last week? Am I putting you on the spot? Should I? We don't plan this show. I just think of shit and say it. So I apologize. I wasn't able to help you prepare for this as much. I didn't set you up for success.
I should have had that pulled up. Well, I was working on my love life research all day, and I am not the proper guy to do that. Apparently, I should have asked my wife. But no. So Cody Ford, he actually graded pretty low last week. However, when I was like talking through it. It's kind of expected from a guy, fresh off the bench in the middle of the game, coming into the game cold. So that the first couple of drives he had didn't look great, but he actually improved a lot after that point. But those first couple of drives were bad enough where it kind of like held his grade down. But I saw a lot of just improvement, even just drive to drive throughout the game. So I don't feel bad about what he's going to look like this week. I know that he has weaknesses. I view him more as a guard. He's going to have the traditional issues that come with that playing tackle, as far as like the athleticism, the mobility, being able to handle edge rushes, et cetera. And so I do expect them, kind of what they did with him last week in the game, just to allocate some help his way, whether it's a tight end, whether it's running back chips. I'm sure they'll slide his way. As I don't think there's a guy on this Eagles defensive line that they're going to prioritize like they have like a Myles Garrett and a Dexter Lawrence. I think they'll just probably slide Cody's way if he's the guy so on Sunday. So I'm not too worried about him. I do worry about him in pass protection. That is going to be his weak spot at tackle. However, I did see measured improvement throughout just even last week's game. We've seen him play tackle before. So I'm interested to see how he does for sure. But I don't think it's going to be like an abysmal performance.
Yeah, I think I'm not a big grading guy, and this is not about your system. It's mainly like the big guys, the PFFs and the graphs and stuff. I've looked at kind of how you come up with it. I subscribe to you on Twitter. I become smarter about the trenches. So you guys out there, you have the option to get a little bit more of the exclusive content that Parker puts out there. He's not shirtless or anything. I'll spoil it for you, but he gets a lot of really good information. So hey, welcome to the internet, baby. This is a content game. Everything's got a price.
I can be bought. I was having that conversation earlier today.
Yeah, me too.
I'm available.
Yeah, Tony, I can be educated. I follow smarter people than me because when I watch your grading process, and I'm not going to try to explain it because I would completely fuck it up. But like I see yours, I'm like, okay, this makes a little bit more sense to me than the PFFs or the there's graphs and there's teams here and here. Like I don't know all that shit, dude. I just watch games. I'm like, that guy stinks. That guy's good. That's kind of how I do it. But I like the way that you build out and grade it because you've always been very clear about how you come to that conclusion. And this isn't just a guy on Twitter. This is a noted offensive line coach. I don't like to talk about this much. People know that, but I am actually a champion Pee Wee football defensive coordinator. It's something I really don't like to bring up a whole lot. So we're in that kind of fraternity of ball knowers, I would like to say. So sure. I really would hope that anybody that's watching this that doesn't follow Parker, please go ahead and do that so you can become smarter about the trenches. So like shifting to the other side of the line, Amarius Mims, you're the trench guy. That was a beer burp. That happens every show.
Love it.
Just your thoughts on Amarius Mims as a whole this entire season so far.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate the plug because the issue I've had with kind of these other grading systems is the lack of transparency. It's kind of like they'll throw the number out at you, but it's like, hey, how did you get there? Like, yes. How did this work out? Sometimes it doesn't line up with what I saw, and it's like I don't necessarily know like your criteria. And so what I've done for my subscribers is, I share the link to my full grading sheet. So I grade every single play. I put play-by-play analysis of what I saw on that play, why they got the grade they got, just in order to maintain that transparency. Because I've gotten a lot of questions, and this is relevant because I've gotten a lot of questions about Mims because I haven't graded him too highly yet so far early on in his career. He's only a few games in now. But he has been improving week over week. That's what you want to see out of a rookie. I mean, you can't expect a rookie to just jump in, especially mid-season, and then just like look like a star. That very rarely happens. But the issue with Mims that I was more concerned about was I expected a lot more out of him in pass protection than I had seen through his first couple of games. And this last week, he was actually the second highest graded pass protector on the offensive line that I graded. So that was a huge jump and remarkable improvement and notable jump in performance from previous weeks. I do think kind of all of the tackles that have been in the mix for the Bengals, all four of them now, have all struggled as run blockers, and that's something that I think is worth noting, because I think the run game is something that just needs to improve for this group. And I've been very surprised by Amarius Mims' ability in that area, because everyone talked about his athleticism coming out. I think he just plays extremely patient, and he's just not maximizing that athletic ability, and that puts him in conflict, into trouble in the run game. But I think as far as pass protection goes, it's now looking more and more like what I expected to see. He still struggles, redirecting on the inside, losing to inside moves. I think that'll come with time. It is only year one, and I kind of laid out a while ago what I see the process as far as offensive line development through their first few years, and how long it takes them to kind of get to, hey, who is this guy going to be in the NFL level? And the first year of that is that technical development. I talked about it with Cordell Volson, and I'll talk about it with Amarius Mims. He just got to kind of work on his feet. But I think when we saw in the offseason with Frank Pollock working with him through training camp, it was a lot of hand placement stuff. It was a lot of hand fighting stuff. It was a lot of, measured strikes. And I think that was because he knew that there were issues with the footwork. But it's a lot easier to correct hands in a shorter amount of time, especially when you're trying to get him just used to the system, used to working with the guys next to him. Because, if we remember, he got a lot of reps in the offseason. And so I think he wanted to focus on him getting into the scheme and just kind of playing freely. So he didn't want him thinking about his feet all the time. I've done that with players as well. So he was more working on the hands, because with the length that he has, he's got these freaking massive long arms that just like Orlando Brown has. And so it's kind of like, if I can get my hands on this guy, lock this guy up early, I can have bad feet, because that can kind of help me out a little bit. So I think we'll see kind of next season that footwork really improve and be at the level that we want it to be. That was really long, and I apologize.
No. This is why you're here. You're making this show smarter, because my initial thought is when you have a lot of length, it's good to focus on hand stuff. So that's I just fucking ruined that. You just did a good football thing. I just made a dick joke. But when you talk about
this guy,
welcome to the show, Parker. We've had three names. You've been on a few times. It's the same shit. But when you talk about him not maximizing his athleticism, I think that kind of goes into the hand placement and everything that you're saying that you think will develop as he goes, because when you're a vet and you have the athletic ability and you've seen snap after snap after snap of football, you just trust that more, right? I think you just kind of trust your instincts, your athleticism. I think now he's a rookie. He hasn't seen a lot of these looks yet. He's playing grown men now. He's not playing college kids. So I think he's probably trying to be a little bit more technical and trying to make sure that he's polished in the same position. Mm-hmm. But as he gets more reps under his belt, I think he'll probably end up starting to play a little bit more freely and just trust his natural ability. And then we can kind of see that flash. I don't know if you would agree with that or not.
No, yeah, for sure. And we have to remember too, he had very limited reps in college as well. So he's very raw overall, just a prospect. It just doesn't have a lot of reps under his belt. So he's still trying to figure out who he is as a player, in my opinion, at these higher levels of football. And it is interesting because if you watch more veteran guys or these high-end guys in the league, I think Trent Williams is one of my favorite examples. He's actually extremely lazy, in my opinion, with his hands, because his feet are so good and he is so athletic, because he can just cut off guys with his feet. And I think one of his favorite moves, I was talking with one of my former players about it the other day, whereas he'll just cut guys off and then just put his hands on top of them and jam them into the ground. He's not looking to punch that often. Funny enough, because Trent Brown is known for, getting ejected for punching people in the face, like he did last week. That was the joke. But he'll run his feet, he'll cut guys off, and then he'll just jam them in the ground. He doesn't really have a very calculated punch, a measured punch, accurate punch. He lets his athleticism do the work for him. And I do think we expect Amarius Mims to be not necessarily on that. Trent Brown's a gold jacket guy, in my opinion. Maybe not on that level, hopefully on that level. But I think we can see something kind of similar where he's going to let his athleticism take him where he needs to be. But right now, I think you hit the nail on the head where he's just playing a little slower because he's still trying to get used to how everything moves, feels, looks, etc.
Yeah, it's like, hey, here's Myles Garrett. Good luck with that. Holy shit.
Exactly.
Ryan in the chat says he's working on a wildly intricate, but he believes it will be accurate formula to determine the level of hit each draft pick is. Essentially a true draft grade for players. I'm very interested in hearing more about that. That sounds like something that's really, really cool. John Papp says, as a dumb fan, in quotation marks, that's what I am. That's what this show is built on. And we'd love to have those in the audience. He says, we're just not hearing Mims' name a lot for penalties and sacks. So when I see the PFF grades, I get confused from it. And I think that's where you're talking about, like, how does PFF come up with this number? And you don't know. So that's why I like to follow your model more, because I know that you're either going to post an explanation for it, or I can find an explanation for it, or I can just text you and be like, yo, why does this happen?
For sure. Yeah.
Kevin asked, do you think Mims has looked slow at the stance because he could be fighting a banged up ankle because we have nobody behind him?
I don't think he looks slow out of his stance necessarily. He's not as explosive as I'd like him to be, but when you watch the film, it's not necessarily like, it's hard to like explain and make sound normal, but he's not slow. He's just like extremely patient. Like, it's almost like he gets to climb to the next level, but he doesn't trust what he's seeing. And so he's more stopping his feet and waiting and freezing and being like, can I trust my eyes? What am I missing? Like, what of this picture should I expect to change? It's not necessarily like slow athletically. It's just slow as far as a processing level. Like, I think he can move fine. And like, when they get him out on the perimeter and stuff, I think he looks pretty good. It's just more of like the inside the box stuff when he's trying to climb to the linebackers and he's like, okay, this linebacker isn't where I expected him to be. Where is he? Where did he go? He's not, great at kind of processing and transitioning and doing the stuff like that. I think the athleticism is still there. But it's more of a, I'm a rookie. The NFL moves extremely fast. What the hell is going on out here? Yeah,
absolutely. My wife says I'm back. What I miss? I made a joke about hand stuff and penises. If you missed, he says internet. K Breezy is the internet. Maybe I had a bad.
I know it's still up and down, buddy.
I don't know what she was going to do. Is it real, dude? I got full bars, dude. Fucking Spectrum, dude. I got a war against Spectrum, and I can't wait till I can get a different internet provider in this house. Just kidding. Internet's cooked again. She's probably doing picture stuff. When she does her photography stuff while I'm doing this, everything goes to hell.
Yeah, blame the wife. It's always a good way to go.
Turn the Wi-Fi up. Spectrum special. Stop streaming Harry Potter. Oh my God. See, dude. I don't know. I've checked all the settings. I've hardlined it. Oh, I didn't hardline it. That might be the issue. The old hardline's just laying here on the ground.
See, I have my computer plugged in to the internet. However, I think my cord's fried. Because I'll be connected, and there'll be like a half-second delay. Everything shuts down, and then I'm on the Wi-Fi, and then it connects back again. And Drew's having technical difficulties fighting with the camera currently.
Moved the cord, camera moved. I don't know. I don't know if I can pull this off. This might fucking tank everything, but we're gonna give it a shot.
I'm kind of excited.
Oh. Jesus Christ. All right, let's see what happens when I do that. May get better, may get worse. Authenticity, it's why we watch. Thank you, Wedge. Thank you. I needed that moment.
It's transparency, like we've been talking about. It's transparency.
Yeah. Somebody said yikes. Tony said yikes. I don't know what's happening, dude. Hopefully Parker looks good, because all of the smart, clip-worthy things to put on the internet after this will be coming from you. So I'll just focus on you, because you're bringing all the knowledge to this show. She says, I don't have any pictures to edit. Anybody want to book a photo shoot? My wife's a photographer. She does pictures all the time. Constantly. So she's good at it. So if you need one, holler at her. Steve said, thanks for fucking up. First time here and he's enjoying it. Well, Steve,
My man, Steve.
it only gets worse from here, unfortunately. Parker is always flawless. I mean, it's true. The guy doesn't miss. You don't miss. Parker, I don't want to take up too much of your time. This is a textbook Cincy Unfiltered shit show. But I do appreciate the knowledge that you've dropped on me. Jesus Christ. The knowledge that you've dropped on me, the knowledge that you've dropped on the chat. But there is a tradition, and I'm going to need you to fill in for Ron, who is back in America. That's all I can disclose. He is back on U.S. soil. Other than that, I can't go any further. I need you to give me a score prediction for Bengals Eagles, and I'm going to let you get out of here, get back to your wife, and stop slumming with my dumb ass.
It's always a pleasure to be on. Like I was telling you, earlier today and yesterday, it's always a dream of mine to share the screen with one Drew Garrison and enjoy your wonderful chat. It's very friendly, very forgiving, and I appreciate that about them. So I'd happily come on anytime. I like talking ball with you, man. You're my guy. You know that. But as far as score predictions go, I feel like I've done a few this year, and I have not followed up with them. So I don't know if I've been way off base or what. But I always predict the Bengals to be just shy of 30 points. This week, I'm going to go just above because I feel like they've been scoring 30 points. So we'll go 31 for the Bengals. We'll go 31 for the Bengals. And I'm worried about this running game from the Eagles. I am. However, Saquon Barkley has a historic trend this season, through 6 games of 1 good game, 2 bad games. And last week he had a pretty good game. So why not go a little 31 for the Bengals, a little, I don't know, like a 17 for the Eagles? Little
31-17?
Little get right game for the Bengals, maybe. I don't know. Fred Johnson can't hang with Trey Hendrickson. I don't know.
Oh, I would love that. I was going to let you go, but there's a very important question from John in the chat. The people have to know. How much product do you use of that hair and beard?
They're both a disaster right now, so I love that I'm getting this question today. I was actually
not a disaster. That's gorgeous.
As I was walking into this room, I'm like, I look like a mess today. I don't use any, though. My wife purchases me a bunch, and so does my father-in-law for pretty much every holiday. And they're both very disappointed that I don't utilize it as much as I should. So it's literally just the fancy shampoo or conditioner that my wife bought me, and then whatever shampoo is available in the shower.
He says, "Disaster?" ? You look like a unicorn. Is it Redken shampoo by chance?
No, I know it's a green bottle. It's for curly hair because apparently I have curly hair.
If Mufasa and Ted Karras had a child, it would be you right now. That's probably the ultimate compliment. Ryan Sparks, like no free ads, but Live Bearded Executive Scent is elite. No free ads. So the reason I say it's Redken is because it's expensive. I get it for my wife. My wife gets it for herself, and she doesn't know this, but I've been out of shampoo for like 2 weeks, and I've been using her expensive shit. That's why her bottle's upside down, getting all of it down on the inside. I'm going to go with my score prediction before we get out of here. I'm going to go 31 for the Bengals. Also had that number in already. Not trying to piggyback off you, but I got the Eagles scoring 27. I got a shootout. I got a shootout in the jungle on my mind, and I think it's going to be entertaining. I think it's going to be fun. I can't wait to be there. When are you coming to Cincinnati? You coming this year?
Yeah, so we're coming out for the Titans game in Nashville, and then we're gonna road trip up from Nashville to Cincinnati for the stripe out game. Thursday night football against the Browns.
You did tell me that. Yeah, you did tell me that. That's going to be awesome. I can't wait to be there. Have you had a garage beer yet?
I haven't. I was talking to you about it the other day. I was like, are these things actually like what everyone makes them out to be?
Oh, that's right. Dude, I'm so bad at remembering conversations. You were actually going to come on last week, and I forgot to text you back. I'm a bad person. I'm a sack of shit.
No. I mean, I was talking to people because last time I came out was like the Cincy Light craze, and I was like, is this really the stuff? And now this time around, it's been the garage beer craze, and so we have to do some research. As one of my favorite shows as of late always says, I know you're familiar, but journalistic standards must be upheld.
Journalistic standards, you got to do the research. And you know what? I'm going to show up Sunday. I'll be there at the stripe out game. Backpack cooler, loaded with the originals, loaded with the limes. We'll let you do one of each. I can't wait to share a beer with you. I can't wait to give you a hetero bro hug. I can't wait for you to be in Cincinnati. I appreciate you spending some time with us tonight. Once again, follow him at Parker Blake 60. Best trench guy on the Twitter application. There's a lot of people that do a lot of really good stuff in this community. My personal favorite for offensive line specific is the man, the myth, the legend, Parker Blake. Thank you very much for coming on to the show tonight. I appreciate you and hope you have a great night, my man.
I appreciate you having me on, man. Always a pleasure. And I'm sorry I was delayed in my appearance, but I'm glad that I made it. I'm glad we got to spend this wonderful time together, sir.
I didn't even know you were late, honestly. I wasn't even looking at the clock. I thought you were right on time.
I thought we were starting at the time you sent me, and then I hopped in and I saw that we were 17 minutes in, and I was like, oh, this is bad news. This is real bad news.
No, it's fine. I was telling the story of my van and all kinds of shit. So
Which will be there Sunday, right?
Van will be there Sunday. Van's running like a top, dude. She's ready to rock.
We got to have the van there, man. It's been problematic when it's not.
No wins at home this year. No van appearances this year. People are saying it's my fault. We got to do some journalistic standards. We got to study. We got to see if it makes a difference.
Got to put the time in, man.
Shout out, my boy. Have a good rest of your night.
Every snap, every play, analyze the grind. Parker Blake, trench talk, football redesign. Bengals up front, let the experts remind. Hold the line, keep it tight, victory aligned.
That's a vibe, dude. That song's a bop. AI did their thing on that. Love Parker to death, man. Guy is one of the nicest dudes I've ever met, not even with his football knowledge and everything else that he has tons of. He's just a nice human being. Love Parker to death. Somebody said that we're distracted. Oh, shout out Parker from Ben. Absolutely. The song is amazing, dude. I put that into AI and it's popped out. I was like, this is dope. Parker Blake, dog in the trenches. Absolutely. No free ads. Best damn beard wash. You said bread wash, but I'm thinking you mean beard wash. Needs to be a sponsor of the show. A portion of the proceeds benefit U.S. veterans. I'll have to look into that. I have just been using my wife's shampoo, kind of like I said. Can't go wrong with garage beer. Nick, you're right. Lime, regular, you just can't. Cam confirms garage beer is the best there is, the best there ever was. I like that. That's a very good way to put it. She said my man has no hair. He uses more shampoo in one wash than I use in a month. I have hair. I have hair. What are you talking? I have beard hair too. And I got a fucking oval of hair on my back that you need to help me shave off because I try to do it myself and I can't fucking reach it. I got plenty of hair. Nick says he has to get to the Stripe game. Dude, come to the Stripe game. Hang out with Parker, dude. He's a good dude. It's a good time. We'll probably meet up in lot 1 somewhere. Slug some beers. Guy's a dog. Guy's a dog. So that's really all we got. This has actually been a longer than normal game preview show because I accidentally made it live for everybody. Members, I'll figure out something. I'll owe you. Wedge, you're my guy. You just became a member today. I'm assuming you became a member today so you could watch this show live, only to find out anybody could have. I owe you one. I'll cash app you. I don't know. Something of the sort. Wife says, where are we sitting this weekend? No idea. Have not gotten the tickets yet. A company buys them and sends them to me. No clue. Have not told me. Don't know. I'll probably have to follow up on that tomorrow. Still no clue where I'm sitting on Sunday. But we're going to be there. I know that. I hope. The tickets are kind of expensive. I don't know. I have to talk to them. I'll have to hit them up tomorrow. I don't know exactly where we're sitting. Ben says, no harm, no foul. We support because we love the content. And that's why I love the OGs in this chat. I truly, truly do love and appreciate every one of you. I must have changed a setting somewhere or the other so people get a free game preview this week. We'll be back Tuesday, 7 p.m. live, free for everybody. That one is supposed to be that way. 7 p.m. on Twitter and on YouTube to recap what we hope is a big Bengals win on Sunday. Ryan's got free Ravens tickets for Thursday night. Random mom at my daughter's cheer practice gave them to me. Shout out to her. So you're going to Baltimore. Be careful. There's an asshole that likes to run around and beat people up for no reason. Actually, he's in jail, so you probably don't have to worry about him. But fuck that guy. That is dope, though. And yeah, one more. See you on the Discord. Again, I should have a link to the Discord on here. If you follow me on Twitter, DM me. I'll send you the link. The Discord chat is fun. Sometimes I forget to look at it for like 7 hours at a time, and I apologize for not being as good of a Discord host as I probably should. But it is a fun time. Like, share, and subscribe, please. If you are new here, like Steve was earlier, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. You don't have to, pay any money or anything. Just subscribe to us, like the video. You can turn on notifications so you can see when we go live and when we post content if you would like. I love every single one of you. I'm going to go get off here and see if I can get my wife to shave my back. But first, not messing up the crisp Cincy hat. We'll be wearing that Sunday, so we're not going to bounce any beer cans off it. We're going to finish this garage beer off, though. Wasn't much left. Who dat?
Your boys are ready to go. You already know. Grab a garage beer, let's flow. No filter needed. Beer's getting deleted. It's the Cincy Unfiltered Show. Let's go. Our boys are ready to go. Our boys are ready to go. You already know. Grab a garage beer, let's flow. No filter needed. Beer's getting deleted. It's the Cincy Unfiltered Show. Let's go. Our boys are ready to go. Your boys are ready to go. You already know.